What is up, humans of the cardboard? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, doing a quick little review over the Duelist Pack Duelist of the Whirlwind set. It's coming out like literally in 2 days. I'm a little bit late on this. I could have done this a couple days ago, maybe even a week ago if I wanted to. The set kind of snuck up on me, to be honest. And I also did kind of do a review a couple months back, but because the set took so long to come out, I do want to make another video because it does feel like the set got pushed back so far there, and it's here, and honestly I'm still excited for it. I was excited when it came out, and I'm even more excited for the next Duelist Pack, the water-based one, because I think it might be this, but like even to the next level, but we'll obviously see. But there are definitely differences here and there with them, but that's not important today. I'm just giving a brief overview of the set, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on everything here. Yeah, so of course the new Duelist Pack representation of the new Duelist Pack theme is they pick 3 characters from either the Yu-Gi-Oh anime / manga, and then they support their individual themes. Here we have Yugo, Sherry LeBlanc, and Lulu Obsidian, culminating in the archetypes of the Speedroids, the Lyrilusks, and of course the Fleur archetype, I guess is what you would call it. Honestly, weird pick. Speedroid and Lyrilusc make a ton of sense, but Fleur is a weird pick, but still, nobody's really mad about it. So when you get to the Speedroid stuff, honestly, the deck gets a lot of nice extenders that they were looking for. They get some new win conditions that don't hurt at all as well. And then you also get stuff like Duplicate, which is like an extender or actually a really nice disruption on top of what your board might already have going on. And honestly, it's all welcome. Speedroids always felt like one of those weird little tier 3 combo decks that could do some interesting things, you know, end on, Crystal Wing plus like another interruption. But now it feels like it can legit end on like solid boards. And the coolest thing about this deck is it doesn't necessarily end on like 6 negate boards, like crazy combo boards. It ends on 2, 3, maybe 4 interruption boards. And then it just ends with like multiple forms of follow-up, which is so cool to me. And that's what I like, those repeatable decks that aren't necessarily crazy high ceiling, but I think it's high ceiling in a different way, in that like, you know, it's coming again next turn with another 3 interruptions. Good luck. That kind of thing. So I like where they're at. I think this is nice. I think this takes a tier 3 deck, and I think it makes it legitimately rogue. We'll see how many people end up playing it, but I do like the movement there. Next up, we get to the Fleur stuff. You've got some of these cards, which is actually kind of cool that they're kind of generic. This card is just like a really generic extender. This card's a generic extender that also is removal at the same time. This card has the ability to special summon any level 1 plant straight from the deck if it's used for a synchro material for a wind monster. So like that's kind of crazy that you could like Hulk this out and then potentially just make any wind synchro. And this card's going to get you an extender for another free level 1 plant. Which is kind of crazy. If not Lone Fire, if Glow Up was still legal, like this would be crazy, I think. And then you have like the steal of the set. This is the chase card of the set, Baron de Fleur, I guess is what the name came out to. This card's crazy. It's an Omni Negate. It's a generic Synchro level 10. It gives you also a pop on the next turn. And it's crazy. And it also gives you the ability to like summon any monster back from your graveyard. So it gives you follow-up. It puts itself back in the extra deck to summon again, potentially. This card is a house and a half. This card is a whole damn condo. Let's just be honest about it. But yeah, like this card's crazy. Get your hands on it if you can. I know it's going to be expensive. If you play combo decks, synchro-based combo decks, this card is right in your sweet spot. So definitely look at picking that up. And then as some of the other cards go, this card's also like a generic. This card's kind of like, what is it called? Dang it. What's the name? What's the name of that card? The paid 100, a full burial. I can't remember the name. The burial card, the equipped, that's paid 100, revive something from grave. It's banned. This card's kind of like that, but it only revives level 2 or lowers, and it negates the effects. So not fully the same thing, but still kind of cool that it does just give you a nice extendability. You've also got Synchro Dilemma. This card's not that important, but it does help you extend from the hand. And then I don't even know what this card does. It's not even like a real card. And then we move to the final archetype here, which is Lyrilusc. As far as where Lyrilusc land after this, I love it because they really affect the meta in 2 specific ways, in my opinion. First and foremost, Tri Brigade. It's almost looking like early into this new format. that Lyraless Tri-Brigade may be back as a legit top tier contender. We were looking at Pure Tri-Brigade and Zoo Tri-Brigade and stuff prior to now, but we've seen some consistency hits. We've seen some hits to the Zoo engine, and now maybe the route is to really like just turn around and kind of go back to the Lyraless route, get a little more combo heavy. But I tell you what, when this deck was playing Lyraless cards, it was the best at playing through Interruption, and that's what we're seeing here. You can't make it something, well, you can't make as easy a Zeus as Zodiac can, but you can still get to Zeus and some other tools and just have a way higher ceiling than that deck, just by playing some of these cards. And even though some have restrictions, they're like restrictions after they use their effects. So if you just save them for later in the combo, do everything else first, that's non-wing beast like, then you drop them and you go to town. And that's really, really cool. So Barrel Canary is one of the better cards here. So is Celeste Wagtail. This card's kind of crazy as well. This card can become like up to like 4 or 5 like compulsory evacuation devices, which is insane. This card's not as good. I don't think this card's played very much. Bird Call is insane. This adds so much consistency to the engine. The big problem before was like, you were like, I really want to open Turquoise, right? But then you just don't open Turquoise that often. And now this card makes 3 extra copies of Turquoise. But if you already have Turquoise, then you get a 2-card combo that beats like every hand trap in the game. Usually, like, depending on like how good your hand is. This deck beats hand traps so easily. Nib is the only card that's like really anywhat scary for this deck. And honestly, the Lyraless do add a nice little piece of oomph to Nibiru that don't just let Nibiru just crash into them like crazy. So Lyraless Tri-Brigade is one way. Even Pure Lyraless looks really interesting right now as well. That's one other thing I wanted to mention here. Pure Lyraless looks kind of cool, just in the sole fact that like you just spam rank 1s, you can spam Zeus really easily. Maybe if you want to play like a generic another like Wing Beast package, you could even try to like spam some Morg too for like going first plays. I don't know, but I've already seen some hype around Pure Lyraless and they seem to have been doing pretty damn well. So I'm actually not mad about that either. And then of course this spell's not too good, but it does help you like equip cards, equip new materials to an Exceed monster that weren't already there, which is pretty cool. And then this can like alter your opponent's monster's levels. It's not the craziest thing in the world, but if they're playing an Exceed or Synchro based strategy, you can actually mess with their levels and keep them off of certain end boards that they're really looking for. So that's kind of cool. But all in all, I think the set's really solid. When you go and look at the reprints for the set, the reprints really aren't that crazy. It's kind of just like archetypal reprints. Like when you look at the Speedroid stuff, it's all the Speedroid stuff you would want. And that's really good because like Speed Recovery ends up being in here, Cart Turbo, right? And some other ones too, like Takatamborg and Terror Top, cards that had actually been going up to a couple bucks. And so that they are confirmed to be in the set is actually really nice. You look at the Flare cards, there's nothing too crazy here. It's older Flare cards that actually could have been a couple bucks just because of these this support going and getting released. And then the Lyraless stuff, the Lyraless only had like 4 or 5 cards before and they all get reprinted here, so we take that as well. But I don't know, I mean, like, long story short, I think we're in a really cool spot here. I think for a while the Legendary Duelist / Duelist Pack sets were really just giving us like almost just nothing but collector / casual player sets, and now we finally see a little bit of competitive relevancy out of this stuff. I mean, we saw Jinzo and Winged Dragon of Raw support. Like, it's cool, and if you're a collector or a casual player that love the anime, that stuff is awesome. But I do think Konami could attempt to expand on certain things, like maybe either just make support better for some of those archetypes and just make them at least rogue interesting for the competitive scene, and then they would actually bring in some of that third facet of Yu-Gi-Oh players and collectors and actually be able to sell this set a little better. So I like this a lot. It is wind, so it's probably the least desirable as far as like wind, water, earth, fire, light, dark goes, if they were to make legendary duelists for each of those types out there. But still, I still think it's pretty good. Lyraless obviously has competitive relevancy. Even just if you're looking at Baroness de Fleur, that card from that archetype is going to be really relevant for years to come, I promise you. And of course, we look at Speedroids. Now, Speedroids are probably the least relevant out of these 3 archetypes, but I do think it's a legit rogue deck. And if you have that guy at locals that really grinds Speedroids and loves them, he's going to top some locals, maybe even win some locals, just because he knows his deck better than you do, and that deck actually does do some good things. So that's where we end up at the end of everything today. Out of the overall, I give this set like an 8 out of 10 as far as duelist packs go, and that's pretty high for my standards because I don't know, I just felt like a lot of the legendary duels were like so specifically like collector / casual support, and like nothing competitive relevant was like coming out of any of them. And now we get this one. The water one already looks interesting because marine cess could be a thing. Even sharks could be a legit rogue, or even like tier 2 deck. Both of them have a chance to be legit like rogue decks coming out of there. We'll see if there's anything else generic coming from that. But really, really cool stuff. Very excited for the future of legendary duels, especially if they follow these up with like a fire and an earth one. And who knows, maybe they go dark and light after. No, they just did the dark one, and that was the one with the Jinzo and the Winged Dragon Raw stuff, I'm pretty sure. So not that worried about that stuff. No, maybe it was the other one. Whatever, it's not important. But they did do a dark one, I'm pretty sure. But we'll see. I think those archetypes, those types in general, lend to have more different archetypes, more cool archetypes, and we'll just have to see as it comes. But pretty good. I'm happy about the direction they're going with the legendary duelists. Let me know what you think down below, of course, and also let me know what you're looking to pick up from this set. I'm looking at the Lyralist stuff. If I can manage it, maybe the Baroness de Fleur. I don't tend to play more combo-y decks, but that could still be something I'm interested in. And maybe the Speedroid stuff if I'm really feeling antsy. I think they're cool. I just don't like I said, like they're really combo-y. So I don't know if that's really like my cup of tea, but we'll see. We'll see. But I'm gonna end it off here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.